Hey guys, so today I'm working on another card using an MFT Sketch, and I'll put the sketch in the top right hand corner so you can see what it looks like. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So to kick things off, I've picked out some pattern papers from a 6x6 paper pad from my mind's eye, and the paper pad is called On Trend, and I'm going to cut a stitched rectangle out of this mint green paper, and then I'm going to cut a piece of acetate using an MFT round stitch die. And I have a plumber's mat that I'm going to put down first instead of one of the plates so that the die just embosses the acetate and it doesn't completely cut all the way through. For the window in the front of my card, I'm taping down the same stitch die I just used onto the center portion of that green stitch panel and cutting through. And I'm going to be placing the acetate behind that window section. So the acetate is actually quite warped, so I'm going to use some liquid glue to go around the outside edges. This will give me a little bit of wiggle room when I apply it to the back of that panel. And then I'm actually going to take a stack of 6x6 paper pads and place it on top because the paper is going to be quite warped now because of the plastic being warped in the background. While I'm waiting for that panel to dry, I'm going to take the striped piece of paper that I picked out and adhere it to the back portion of the card. And this is just a standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 top folding card. My sentiment is actually from a Hero Art stamp set, and this stamp set is super old. You can tell that it's yellowed, but it still stamps just fine. And this sentiment is actually cut in half. Originally it was happy birthday as one line, and I cut it apart many years ago, but as you can see, it works just fine. The main embellishment on this card is going to be this little charm from Pink Paisley, and the charm really is a charm. It has a clasp at the top that I'm going to loop through some ribbon. And to cut the slits for the ribbon, I'm using a Making Memories ribbon tool, and this tool is really old, so if I can find it online, I'll link it in the description box below. But I bought this several years ago, so I'm not sure if they even make it anymore. Anyways, it just cuts slits for you to thread ribbon through, and because this acetate is on the thicker side, I actually had to punch quite a few times to get the little cutout slits on the two sides that I wanted to thread my ribbon through. Now you can see I'm finally threading the ribbon through the card, and I'm going to twist it so that it actually folds over itself in the back. That way it doesn't stand out when I tie the bow and the bow is cinched in the middle. Now I could have just tied a bow and adhered it to the front portion of the card, but I needed the ribbon to actually bear the weight of the charm, so punching the holes and tying it through the acetate seemed like a better option. Now that I have the bow situated, I'm going to take that butterfly charm, and using the clasp, I'm going to attach it to the bow in the knot section, or that portion that loops over the knot in the center of the bow. Then I'm going to apply a generous amount of dimensional adhesive to this back panel because it is still on the warp side. I'm going to need a lot to hold it flat to the card. After I attached the front panel down to the rest of the card, I went and finagled the tails of my bow just a little bit because I had been manhandling that front panel when I was attaching it with dimensional adhesive. And after it was situated, I used a pair of really sharp scissors to trim the tails short. As a finishing touch, I'm going to take some sequins from Cartwright's in a white iridescent color and a peachy coral color and attach them to a few random places on the front of the card. And that's it. So here's a quick look at the completed project. Thanks for watching.